Long or short sales pages? Which one is the best? And how are you gonna know? Welcome. In today's very short copywriting tutorial, I'm gonna help you figure out when you should be writing a long sales page versus when you should be writing a short sales page. So this is one of the most common objections I get whenever I coach people about writing their sales pages, because I don't feel like writing a long ass sales page, and who's gonna read it? And I don't think people are actually reading that much online these days. And I heard people have the attention span of a goldfish, or is it even less than that? Well, here are the situations when it makes sense to have a long sales page. Expensive offer, not a lot of trust with your audience, cold audience, people who haven't engaged with your emails or with your content in a very long time, people who come to you from other sources like other business partners or lead magnet exchanges, things like that. That's a long sales page. Now, I also write a long sales page when it's the entry level in a sales funnel that requires people to do multiple things until they exit the sales funnel. Now, long sales pages qualify people. And this is something that a lot of business owners just don't get, that you really don't need to appeal to everyone. You only need to be right for a small amount of people who are the perfect people for you. That's it. You don't need to convince me and my husband of the same thing. You only need to convince the person who is the best fit for your product, and obviously the person who is your target audience. Okay, another reason you need a long sales page. People have conversations with themselves. So when I go to a sales page, I'm gonna have a conversation with myself, and I'm gonna use that sales page to find the answer. Or that sales page is gonna create a question for me, and then I'm gonna look for that answer. So it's a very interactive thing. And because the online selling process isn't the same with a one-on-one selling process where me and you, we sit and we talk, and you can see on my face if something you're saying doesn't make sense, or I'm looking like I'm getting bored or things like that. But with a sales page, for online selling process, you don't really have that luxury. So your sales page needs to bust objections, and it's not just objections about the money. It's also an objection about how much time do I need to put into this? Am I actually going to use it? Is it the right fit for me? Is it just another thing I'm putting my money in because I'm desperate to find a solution, but I'm not going to do anything about it? That and so much more you need to address on a sales page. Obviously, you should do it by how important those objections are for your target audiences. And that's something you're going to find with research, with customer interviews, and things like that. Okay, so that's for a long sales page. So when do you write a short sales page? When you're sending your offer to the hottest audience possible. So it's people who have purchased from you before. It's people who open all your emails. It's people who you actually have a relationship with, and they like you and they're your biggest fan. It's usually people who are going to buy from you from your first email. Let's call it that. So in those cases, you don't really need to do a lot of convincing or persuasion or social proofing, because they already know you, they trust you, they've invested with you before, they know the quality of your product, so they kind of know what to expect. That's the case with a warm and very hot audience. There might be other situations when a short sales page could make a difference. For instance, if you have a webinar and you spend a lot of time in that webinar presenting the offer, and then when people are presented the link to buy it, you have like a shorter sales page that reminds them of what's included. And ideally you have a video in there as well, a short one that reminds people what they're getting and what they need to do. So that's obviously, again, a very warm and hot audience. They don't really need a lot of hand-holding because you've already done that either in previous interactions or during the webinar itself. So I hope this answers your question, and I hope you've had that question. And if you have more questions or a very specific thing you'd like to ask about your sales copy or email marketing, leave it in the comments.